I tell you how it is. No, I appreciate it.
Keep filing it, guys. Keep filing it. Everyone in. Everyone in. Filing it, guys. How many you last one?
Good evening, everybody. Tonight I wanted to start the meeting off with special purpose, and that is to show our sense of gratitude and pride to recognize our dedicated first responders who represent the very best of Roxbury. Every day without hesitation, these men and women answer the call to serve, whether it is in the middle of the night, during a holiday, in the face of danger, in an unpredictable circumstance. They step forward when others step back. They do not do it for recognition. They do it because they are committed to protecting the lives, safety, and well-being of our community. Our firefighters, emergency medical personnel, and those who support them are more than public volunteers. They are our neighbors, our friends, and our family. The first week in April proved to be a very difficult week here in Roxbury Township. Our volunteer first responders did not hesitate to meet the call 73 times since our last council meeting. And they did it with courage, professionalism, and compassion. Each and every one of them served with honor and exemplified excellence. On behalf of the Township Council and the residents of Roxbury, I extend our deepest thanks. Your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. Your services do not go unappreciated. We are safer, stronger, and more resilient because of you. Tonight we honor you, but more importantly, we thank you. I'd like to ask the members of our volunteer squads to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me.
I.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I once again thank all of you for what you do for us. God bless all of you, and God bless Roxbury Township. Thank you. Moving on, Roxbury Township continues to oppose the federal processing facility proposed under former Secretary Christy Noem for the reasons clearly outlined in Resolution 2026-029. These reasons include inappropriate placement within residential area, significant water and sewer capacity limitations, negative environmental impacts, significant traffic challenges at one of our most dangerous intersections. Our 42-member police department, our all-volunteer fire EMS, and immediate loss of critical tax revenue to our community. Roxbury Township, along with New Jersey State Attorney General's office has filed suit against the federal government to challenge the proposed conversion of the warehouse at 1879 Route 46 into an ICE detention facility. Our township attorney for this matter, Mr. Anthony Bucco, is not able to join us tonight. We have Mr. Bucco's litigation partner, Mr. Bryce, with us. Mr. Bryce, can you please provide an update on the suit, including how your office will coordinate with the Attorney General's office?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Recently.
Can you speak louder? Sorry.
Recently, the Township of Roxbury filed for an injunction.
It's off again.
Filed for an injunction with justice that has now been scheduled for briefing. So at this point in time, the townships in the state's brief is when the injunction is filed. The U.S. government has until April 23rd to respond to that injunction. You then have an opportunity to reply. You then have an opportunity to reply. You have the opportunity to reply to whatever the U.S. government says. That's due on May 1st. We expect that this matter is going to be returnable before court on May 12th. That's going to be subject to court conversation. So at this point in time, the township, in conjunction with the state of New Jersey, has applied for an injunction.
As of today, no application or permit requests have been filed with the Township of Roxbury. Plans have been submitted and no additional information has been provided by the Department of Homeland Security. We have formally invited Secretary Mullen through Senator Kim's office to visit Roxbury Township. We welcome him here to discuss and show data on the lack of infrastructure, negative environmental impact, and inappropriate location in a residential area. We remain hopeful that the Secretary will honor his commitment to meet with us in the very near future. This council remains unwavering in its commitment to safety and protection as the interest of Roxbury Township.
Quick notice of this meeting of the town Roxbury was given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act was November 31st, 2025. Notice was emailed and faxed to the Daily Record, the North Star Ledger, Westmarsh Report, and published in the Daily Record. Notice should also remain in the main hallways in the municipal buildings.
Thank you. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Here.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Here.
O'Reilly.
Here.
Mayor Patillo.
Here. For this presentation, the board has said that there are none. Approval of minutes, March 24th, 2026, and March 31st, 2026. Discussion? Amy, roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Patillo.
Yes, this brings us to our first public portion. Does anyone in the public wish to be heard on any township business? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address. For the record, please hold 3 minutes.
Hi, Susanna Oliveri, 21 King Road, Landing, New Jersey. Just wanted a clarification on the business we talked about last week. Wanted to clarify if Mr. Bryce will be attending from here on out, since on March 24th meeting, Anthony Bucco stated in my office, my partner Jim Bryce, who is my litigation partner, will coordinate with the Attorney General's office. Will we expect that Mr. Bryce will be representing Anthony Bucco from here on out?
I'll continue to state it. It says, we will work cooperatively together under a cooperation agreement that was signed between the parties.
Which parties?
So, between his office, or Roxbury Township, representing us, and the Attorney General.
Which parties on that? Which parties on the town of Roxbury?
His office.
His office.
Their
Who
office
signed? Exactly, who signed from his office?
Mr. Bryce?
So currently, there's a joint common interest agreement that the township has through the Attorney General's office in the Township of Roxbury, signed on behalf of the Township of Roxbury by myself, that we have a cooperative agreement in prosecuting the case against DHS
Yes,
and this warehouse,
yes,
and it governs the control of information flowing
yes,
between our offices and the confidentiality of those documents and information, so that we maintain a cooperative agreement moving forward, a joint agreement moving forward,
yes.
towards the same end of opposing the warehouse.
So signed by you, you just said.
Signed by me.
Okay, then that tells us that you're handling this from here on out. If it's signed by you, then you're taking responsibility for your firm. It's a person, I'm asking who signed as a person. The firm is not a person, it's an entity.
Question was
I
answered.
signed as
Mr. Bryce, question was answered. Thank you.
So the person who signed, Mr. Bryce, will be representing. It's not, I'm not asking who the firm is. I didn't hear Mr. Bucco's name on the signature.
Thank you.
Was Mr. Bucco's name on the signature?
Thank you.
I think that we were told is Mr. Bryce's signature. Was Mr. Bucco's name on the signature? Do I have to Oprah that to find out? Because I will.
Doesn't matter who signs it.
It does matter. It is a document stating who will be. No, it's not a technicality. The firm is represented by Mr. Bryce. Mr. Bryce signed the papers, therefore he is representing. For my firm, if I sign something on behalf of my company, I am the representative of that. So therefore, Mr. Bryce is the representative. Okay, well, I'll Oprah that and I'll get the signatures. Thank you.
Bonnie Rosenthal Randolph is actually a question. I'm sure it goes without saying that those of us who are involved in social justice are also experiencing safety issues for ourselves. My question is that I've received recently a bunch of Google things saying your name's appearing on Google with my address having to do with Roxbury Town Council meetings. And I don't give my address when I'm up here for safety reasons. So can somebody explain to me? It's not a volatile topic. I'm just asking, why is my address appearing within, I guess, minutes that are then going online?
We would have no influence over that. We have no information.
But it's Roxbury.
We wouldn't.
Okay, I'm just asking because I'm not giving you guys my address and somehow you're having that.
Where would I get?
I don't know. I'm not asking you a volatile question. I'm asking you, how is my address?
First time, we have nothing to do with that. We have no information.
So my address, does that make sense? My address is appearing online in your guys' minutes. Okay.
In the minutes?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. When we speak after the fact, are our addresses being looked up? I'm not.
Madam Clerk, did we put the addresses in the minutes of the people who speak?
Address should be in the minutes, and if they don't have us the full address, then we can't put it.
So Bonnie, it's not, no one researches anybody after the fact. I want you to feel safe that way. So the clerk just answered your question. We put names and addresses in the minutes, but I don't want you to feel unsafe.
How are you guys getting, like, how do you guys get my address if I'm not?
Just saying,
I'm not being obnoxious to
No,
you.
I know,
Please
and I
don't be.
realize it. I realize it.
Thank
Bonnie,
you.
Bonnie, look at me. I want you to
Yeah.
calm down.
No. I would like the respect. Thank you.
I'm going to give you the respect.
Yeah, you are.
Clerk,
Names and addresses are in the minutes. If we had them from December or whatever, then we still use the same address.
to the point, you do not go after the meeting to research anybody who doesn't give a partial address. We do not go researching people and put their names. So Bonnie, the names and addresses of people who have come up are in the minutes. That's why you're showing up in a Google. There's no one here. That's what the mayor was trying to point out. So thank you for letting me speak, Mayor.
Right.
I hope you feel that.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's the 7 of you or whatever that are doing it. I'm just asking
Or
you.
staff. I'm trying to protect staff as well.
Yeah.
We have a requirement. Clerk is following the requirement, so I wanted her to explain the requirement.
Thank you. Yep.
If I can, I'm just gonna talk loud, I usually come up there. Bonnie, I will meet with you after this,
Okay.
because there is an avenue through your police department where we can do something to just make you feel safer.
Okay, thank you. Thank
I'll talk to
you.
you about it afterwards.
Good evening, Diana May, 30 Roxbury East in Ledgewood here in town. I'd just like to point out something that came to my attention very recently. I had filed an Oprah request on 3/11. Basically, it was just for the backlogged minutes. There had been like 7 meetings that had gone by. The minutes hadn't been approved and posted to the website. Pretty generic, wasn't like really hunting for anything weird. I submitted an Oprah request via email to Ms. Reed. That's the address on the Oprah form. And then I didn't hear anything back, which I thought was a little strange. I emailed again to her and to a council member on March 22nd. Didn't hear anything back, which now I thought was weird that even a council member isn't responding to a constituent. I emailed again on the 27th to the council member, and then I received a response from Ms. Reed. Thank you, I do appreciate that you did let me know what happened. That my email had gone to the spam folder. And so she'd just been seeing it, and by that time it was resolved. The minutes are now all posted on the website. All is good, it became a moot issue. My email address is just a basic Hotmail address. There's nothing weird. I didn't send it to 15 different people, BCC, because I know sometimes Google and things like that will often then detect that as spam. But I, as a constituent, did reach out to people in this room, and it went to spam, and it didn't get noticed until April 6th. And originally I had sent it on March 11th. So I humbly request that maybe we speak with the IT department. I know my employer has very strict security on our emails as well, and things go to spam. We get notifications from Barracuda, things are sitting there for us to look at, and we're encouraged to go from time to time to look at our filters. But I humbly request, especially since members of this council have said that, well, I don't hear that from my constituents. And I fear that you may not be receiving emails from your constituents. So if we could please look into that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, my name is Sierra Winters. I live in Landing, New Jersey. I also don't provide my address for safety reasons. I wanted to first thank you for providing an update on the lawsuit and the injunction and starting the meeting that way. I really appreciate you doing that. I am asking for continued and enhanced transparency. First, the microphones tonight and at every meeting I've been to over the past couple of weeks are really frustrating. I do have a hard time hearing you a lot of the time, and it makes it very hard to remain engaged and to kind of know what's going on when you're straining to hear. And so I would like you to, I'm requesting that you try to do something to improve the IT capabilities, or just really ensure that, I notice when your mouth is like right over these small microphones that they work, but when you do this, we can't hear you. So I'm just asking that you be more aware of that moving forward, please. Also, I noticed tonight some talking over each other and unclear answers, and I just find that very frustrating. So moving forward, it would be really appreciated if you continue to address and give us updates on the ICE warehouse situation at the beginning of the meeting. That was helpful. I think there should be a standing agenda item for that until this is resolved. And then also just answering community questions in a more clear and kind and calm way. Like, I know that your job is really frustrating right now, and I think often I get the sense that you maybe see us as a bit of an inconvenience, but we do deserve your calm and composure and respect in listening. And this has been a bit of a frustrating couple of minutes watching my peers make their public comments. So thank you for hearing me out today. Sarah Wilson, Bud Lake. I would like to know if there is an update on the case about the shooting that happened by an ICE agent in Roxbury Township. We haven't heard anything about that in quite some time. And in fact, we haven't heard anything about it.
I don't have enough.
Thank you.
interrupt you. Do you have township business? Because we have a long agenda. I just want to get through it and come back to all this if that's possible.
Okay, yeah, I was talking
Okay.
about more of the ice stuff. If you wanted to come back in
We'll have a
little bit.
second public. Thank you. We'll close public. We'll have a second public in just a little while. Brings us to item 7, reports of council liaison, representative council committee, new and old business. I'm going to pass on my time today to Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. One is, again, I want to thank all the volunteers and the police and everyone. Keep this community safe. I know it was a tough April. Hopefully, we'll do better ones. Next, I wanted to bring up that JJ's help, we've been working on the Veterans Memorial for the Memorial Day Parade. Is working on getting names from people. We put out some press releases. Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom. That anyone that need our essentially questionnaire and the information that we need, we're going to try to get them on to the Memorial Day agenda so that we can have the plaques done and engraved by that time. Yeah, I just want to thank you for getting it all done.
I have a question about that. Can we add others from previous wars that may not be on there? That was actually asked of me this evening.
No, probably not. We're working right now on the latest one. So if it's a Korean War or World War II, you certainly want the name and want the information. We're not going to guarantee that we'll get it by the end.
You know what to do, Karen.
Say just for timing purposes, maybe that could be an initiative to try to have it done by Veterans Day, clean up the old war memorials, but for this
Great.
Memorial Day, why after?
Karen?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Jackie.
Margaret?
Thank you. I would also like to thank all of our first responders, whether it's fire, first aid, or our police officers, for their outstanding job they've done. Actually, for the past couple of years, it's really been a tough time. And on that note, I would like to read something. It is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So, we proudly honor the dedicated men and women who serve as the first responders for emergency services. These professionals are the calm, steady voices in moments of crisis, providing reassurance, gathering critical information, and dispatching first responders with precision and urgency. Their work, often unseen, is essential to public safety and the well-being of our residents. We extend our deepest gratitude for their professionalism, resilience, and unwavering commitment to protecting lives every single day. Thank you, guys. Jonathan Romeo is one of the finest 911 dispatchers that the county has. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Councilman Hall?
Guys, it's been a really rough week. I mean, all you have to do is step outside your house and you hear the fire engines going from one end of town to the other. So, doesn't go unnoticed. I'm grateful for everything you folks do, as well as police in our community. Lots of dates. I just want to on the Reardon Headwaters Roxbury Environmental Commission stream cleanup. Saturday at Black River Park. Every year we do this. Clean that park up pretty well. So that'll be 9 to 12. This weekend on Wednesday, April 22nd is Earth Day. We have the tree giveaway at that point. That will be at Horseshoe Lake. So if you are a Roxbury resident, you can come over and pick up 2 trees at no cost. And on April the 25th is the larger community cleanup within Roxbury Township. If you want to volunteer, it's County and Keys, the Roxbury Environmental Commission who will be handling Horseshoe Lake. We have another 250th meeting coming up to solidify some of the major events that are coming down the line. One of them, obviously, is the beach blast have that solidified at that time. Listen, a great big, I know Councilman DiFilippo brought this up a few weeks ago, but a great big was to donate the fireworks every single year. I think we received all the money for the fireworks, complete donations from Roxbury Rotary and some other folks within a matter of hours, and it's really very much appreciated. It makes all of our jobs a lot easier when we know that we have the funding available to get that done. So to all that donated, really a big thank you. On May the 13th, tree planting at Horseshoe Lake. I think, Steve, you're going to be coordinating that particular effort. That's also with Rare Headwaters. If you ever have a chance to see anybody from this Rare Headwaters Association, these people are really good. They do a lot for the community, they do a lot for the environment, and they do a lot for Roxbury Township. On June the 1st is our annual 5K at Horseshoe Lake, a lot of fun. Listen, it's been a rough winter, lots of storm drains, lots of potholes all over town. Be patient. Steve, I see you've done a lot of really good work with the guys. Give them our thanks for everything that you're doing. And one negative point that we've been working on, and hopefully we're going to get this resolved quickly, is over the last week we've had some significant odor-related issues related to the condominium complex called the Overlook at Flanders. There are some issues with I guess their sewage treatment plant over there that is affecting people at Pleasant Hill Estates, which is off Emmons Road. So a big thanks to JJ and to Steve for contacting them and getting them to start replacing some parts that were needed in order to correct the problem. We're not 100% sure if it's corrected at this particular point, but we're at least heading in the right direction. So good job for Steve and JJ. And with that, I will pass off.
Thank you. Councilman Riley?
Quickly, I'd be remiss if I too didn't thank the volunteers for all they do and our first responders, police officers, EMS and fire. And I know it has been a tough month so far, but thank you all. We have our first fleet committee meeting next week. Look forward to that. I'd like to see how that first meeting goes and go from there and see it about looking at some of the issues that need to be looked into. And last we haven't had planning board, but the master plan did meet with the Salmon Valley property, so that looks like it's getting back in line with getting open sooner than later. They should be at our next planning board meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman DiFilippo?
You're looking forward to going to a fleet meeting?
Okay.
Okay, Rob. Just a couple of quick things. Yes, our first responders are the best, but enough is enough, right? I'm looking at you. Enough is enough. You're looking at the wrong chief. We could use a break. So enough is enough. You guys do a great job. Repair Cafe, our great library, does a lot of great events, but this Saturday is the Repair Cafe. It's a hugely successful event. There's information online if you want to do that. I also want to just take a minute and thank Mark Crowley and JJ for getting this Veterans Recognition Program back on track. And the fact that it had gotten off the track is, I'm glad that we were able to do that and to get people whose names should be on that memorial. It gives me the opportunity to also say that just a year or so ago, we started a banner program to honor our veterans, and it's so oversubscribed now. It's our biggest problem is capacity, and so it just feels good to see that. And again, Mark,
good problem to have.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, because I think that's an important thing for us. And that's all from me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Thank you.
Mr. Rice?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Manager?
Just as part of the budget, just wanted to footstop the investment that we're going to make on the township-wide infrastructure, and I would like a meeting to come forward and go over the plan ahead, if approved in the budget after May 12th, maybe we can have Steve come up and we can present the roads that are gonna get paved this year, the sidewalks that we're targeting. I think that'd be good for the public, and that's the one thing I want to share.
Thank you.
Budget approval.
All right, item 8, matters requested referred by council members, manager, attorneys, and clerk. We have application for social affairs permits, Women's Sports Club, Inc., line dancing, April 18th, 2026.
I'll move 8A.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
No.
Nothing, Fred?
Well, I always look at this because we had an issue a while back, but, it looks like the timing, I checked the timing on that, Mayor, and it's the exact same time as they had, last year, so it closes down at 11 p.m.
We've resolved that issue, and I haven't had any complaints since we set that time, so I think.
I think you're right, Mr. Diflo. I think 11 p.m. is the right time.
Is that by ordinance, chief, or is it just that they've agreed to shut down at 11,
It could be special permitted, but the ordinance is, could be 10, it depends what day of the week it is.
And you haven't gotten any complaints, have you?
0.
Since we raised the issue of the
Correct.
sign issues? All right,
Correct.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9, budget resolutions. 2026086, governing body certification of compliance with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records in employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Patillo.
Yes. Budget resolution 2026087, self-examination of budget resolution. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call.
Yes.
Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Patillo.
Yes. Item 10, introduction of budget. 2026-088, municipal budget notice. Second. Any discussion on this?
Point out that we spent tons of time on this year. JJ's first year, so he'll be able to play well next year.
I too wanted to at least call out the fact that it was a difficult year. Everybody was relatively new at this, and so commend KDA staff and this council for managing through very difficult. So I think the public always may know this, but I like to remind them to go line by line. The result of that, I think, to have a budget that is consistent with our fiscal responsibilities, but also
Not really one thing.
Roll call.
Adoption will be on May 12th. Reading. Councilwoman Albrecht.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Patillo.
Yes. Item 11, introduction of proposed ordinances 07-26, ordinance authorizing the conveyance of township-owned real property to Morris Habitat for Humanity, Inc., 270 Mount Arlington Boulevard, Block 12002, Lot 4.
Second.
Any discussion?
Very exciting. This is going to be our 4th Habitat house that was built by our very own high schoolers.
It's a great program.
Albrecht.
Very happily, yes.
Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo. Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Proposed ordinance 08-26, ordinance amending chapter 13 land development, article 7 zoning regulations, section 13-7.826, application and interpretation of low moderate housing provision of the revised general ordinance of the township of Roxbury, establishing fourth round affordable housing requirements. Discussion? Mr. Riley?
Yeah, this is not saying this is not us opting into the ground. This is strictly about making sure that the housing that is built parameters does fit guidelines that we have currently.
I'll tell you, Jim, I took a look at this and I said, why is it even here? I called any attorney, Mr. Germanario, and this makes sense. We have to do this.
Second reading, April 28th, roll call.
Councilman Albrecht. Yes. Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Proposed ordinance 09-26, capital ordinance authorizing the making of various public improvements and the acquisitions of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, and new automotive vehicles by and for the township of Roxbury in the county of Orange, state of New Jersey, and to appropriate the sum of $3,353,261 from various grants, open space trust funds, and the capital improvement fund of the township to pay the cost thereof. Any discussion? Second reading, April 28th, roll call.
Albrecht. Yes. Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Proposed ordinance 10-26, capital ordinance of the township of Roxbury, the county of Morris, New Jersey, authorizing the making of various water system improvements and the acquisition of a new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in and by and for the water utility of the township, appropriating therefore the sum of $430,000 from the water utility capital improvement fund of the township. Discussion? None. Second reading, April 28th, roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht. Yes. Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Proposed ordinance 11-26, capital ordinance of the township of Roxbury, the county of Morris, New Jersey, authorizing the making of various sanitation sewer system improvements in and by and for the sewer utility of the township, appropriating therefore the sum of $990,000 from the sewer utility capital improvement fund of the township. Any discussion? Second reading, April 28th, 2026, roll call.
Councilwoman Albrecht. Yes. Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Brings us to item 12, hearing and adoption of ordinances on second reading, 06-26, ordinance amending the revised general ordinance of the township of Roxbury and the procedure for disabled veterans tax exemption.
Make a motion open.
Does anyone in the public wish to be heard on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I'll close. A motion to adopt.
Motion.
Any discussion on this? Roll call, Amy?
Yes. Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Pattillo.
Yes. Item 13, introduction and adoption of resolution.
Mayor, I'll move 2026-089, 2026-090 through 2026-097.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Councilwoman Albrecht. Yes. Deputy Mayor Crowley.
Yes.
Councilman DeFilippo.
Yes.
Councilman Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Riley. Mayor Patillo.
Yes. Just item 14, personnel change, there are none. 15, communications. This, March 27, 2026 to April 10, 2026. Discussion. This brings us to our second public portion. Does anybody in the public wish to be heard on any topic? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Please keep it 3 minutes and one person, one time.
Good evening, Ken Collins, Andover Township. May 12th is the hearing on the ICE prison. ICE wants to start retrofitting as soon as May 28th. Prisoners could begin arriving anytime thereafter. The president you support and his immigration policies are going to fill an Amazon warehouse with violent and dangerous illegal immigrants, frequently described by your president as rapists, drug dealers, gang members, convicted murderers, animals, monsters, coming from insane asylums and mental institutions emptied into America by South American countries. They're coming to Roxbury. An Amazon warehouse is not a federal detention facility. It is not safe for the community to house all of these dangerous criminals in a facility that is easy to escape from, like a warehouse. Every single person the government incarcerates in this unfit warehouse will want to do nothing but escape into the community. Residents in Netcong Heights should be absolutely terrified. Residents of Fox Chase should be very afraid. Residents of Poets Peak should be very afraid. Residents of Landing should be very afraid. There is not a sufficient buffer zone around the ICE concentration camp to establish a safety perimeter adequate enough to protect the community and prevent escapes. There will be escapees in this community, and prisoners could be here in Roxbury before the 4th of July. They're going to come into Roxbury, and they're not going to consult with you about anything. They will come here against your will and do as they please. If any of you are privately in favor of this concentration camp, I hope that you will show up at Port Morris when the prisoner trains are unloading for the Dachau photo op. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Patrick Gallagher. I'm a resident of Long Valley, New Jersey, and I'm here representing the Skylands branch of the Democratic Socialists of America. Before I get to my questions, I just wanted to share an experience I had over the weekend. I visited the immigrant detention facility at Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey on Saturday. I spent the afternoon there, and I talked to a lot of people there, and you know, I guess in keeping with the messaging that my group would like to portray and give out to the public, you know, we oppose, or rather we support abolition. The prison industrial complex exists merely to profit off the suffering of people and seeks to keep the working class confined and fighting amongst itself rather than advocating for the rights of the working class. And I strongly oppose the GEO group, and I hope that they do not come to Roxbury to profiteer off the suffering of immigrants and the communities around them. I just have two quick questions. One, is the Township of Roxbury doing any monitoring of the warehouse with respect to illegal construction that may start? I know that they haven't submitted any permits, but that hasn't stopped them from doing things in the past, and I was just curious if you are keeping a monitor on the situation to make sure that DHS is not unlawfully, beginning the conversion process.
I go up to the site regularly, and there's been no work started up there.
Excellent. And I guess I just want to bring to your attention, my group, as well as a coalition of other local activists, have been meeting on the side of Route 46 on the sidewalk to not only protest the purchase of this warehouse and the conversion of this warehouse, but we also seek to monitor ICE ourselves, and we like to just make sure that nothing unlawful is happening. So I would love to invite some of you to that. We are literally a mile down the road, 4:30 on Fridays. We call it our Eyes on Ice operation, kind of modeled over what happens at Delaney Hall. And it would be cool to see your support if you stand in opposition to DHS's activities in the area. Thank you.
Susanna Oliveri, 21 King Road Landing. I did an analysis of the January and February invoices received from Murphy and McKeon. I excluded any part of the invoices that had anything to do with the affordable housing or non-ICE litigation. In January, there were 90 items that were listed. 6 of them pertain to Roxbury ICE. That is 6.6% of the work done in January was for ICE. That included miscellaneous reviews of memos, drafting language for the resolution, reviewing more memos, and receiving a telephone call from a contractor for the proposed facility. In February, there were 78 of these items, again, excluding affordable housing and non-ICE litigation. That's 7 of the 78 items. Only 9% pertain to ICE. Again, that is reviewing documents from ICE, reviewing another document from ICE, and preparing for a phone call on the 23rd, as well as taking a phone call on the 23rd and reviewing an ICE letter. On the 23rd phone call, the O'Toole and Scrivo was present. However, on resolution 2026-82, which was presented on March 24th, that is when you notified us that they would be involved. The business entity was signed by them on March 9th. So this indicates that they were involved prior to your public notification of the 2026-82. So you didn't follow procedure there. NJSA 40A 11-1 indicates that this should have been put forth on a public vote before engaging with them. Despite your claims that Murphy and McKeon has been doing everything possible to make this stop, that is truly not true. 13 line items in January and in February, 7.7% of the invoices was dedicated to ICE. That is less than 10%. That is exceptionally inadequate. What is missing is discovery. There's no line items for substantial discovery. There is no record of anything being reviewed by DEP that was provided by David Broderick. There is nothing to indicate that you did any investigation around the Musconetcong Sewer Authority, New Jersey Highlands, Lake Apecong, traffic impact, zoning ordinances, or public safety. Any kind of data or discovery that could have formed a proactive counterclaim to DHS. Instead, we were fed fluff, memos were reviewed, and we were drafted an empty resolution. This is not the conduct of a serious counsel who is opposed to the detention center. It is once again, performative and inadequate and fails the people of Roxbury. This is actually very poor performance and quite frankly an insult to the people of Roxbury. You should all be ashamed, and you're ripping us off.
Matt Basallo, Wharton, New Jersey. So mainly I just had a couple questions that I wanted to get some clarification on. Some of it is just for our records and just so we have a better understanding of some stuff. So the first one really is, I just wanted to know when exactly was this lawsuit actually filed? Because, you know, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I imagine something like this must take a lot of time to actually pull together and get the resources and organize and all these things. Because at least from some of the information that we have publicly available, the first public records I was seeing of this are from March 20th. And then I know that on March 24th during the meeting is when you guys first publicly announced to us that you had officially filed and the lawsuit was going through. And so I just wanted to know when exactly was the lawsuit filed or how long we've been working on it. I could be. That's why I wanted to double check. Oh, okay, so it was filed on March 20th, and then you guys told us on the 24th. And so I asked this question, which leads into my next question, because as we've all publicly been... Yeah, they closed, but I imagine you guys were probably working on it for a lot longer than just that one day. But the reason I bring that up is because we've probably been, made it known that we do not trust Mr. Bucco or his law firm to be able to act without any sort of, sorry, I'm forgetting the word here. Bias? Yeah, without any sort of, thank you. Without any sort of bias. And mainly the thing that I brought up before was Mr. Bucco's voting record in terms of our local Senate. And when I brought this up before, I forgot to mention some dates, and so I wanted to point these out because when taken with this information, it is concerning. And so S3522 or A4070, the Privacy Protection Act, which would prohibit government and healthcare facilities from requesting, collecting data around individuals' immigration status, citizenship, place of birth, social security, all of which he voted against. Which came up for a vote 3 separate times, once on February 19th of 2026, once on February 24th of 2026, and one literally on March 23rd, 2026, a day before y'all came to us and told us about the lawsuit. That pattern continues with S3521 and A4071, the Strengthening Trust Between Law Enforcement Communities Act. Again, he voted no on all of those on February 19th, 2026, and March 23rd, 2026. A4071 actually got voted on 3 times in one day. He voted no on all of them, and that was also March 23rd, 2026. As well as the Transparency in Federal Law Enforcement Act, which he voted against, which was also voted on February 19th of 2026. All right. Well, I think it's obvious that how can he, with one hand, draft up lawsuits while on the other hand, fighting this.
Good evening, Olivia Dorico, Lower Berkshire Valley. So I've spoken many times. I don't think it's a secret how I feel about the ICE facility. I am strongly opposed to it. But tonight I'm not actually here with my own words. I have a very close relationship with my parents, so we talk all the time. So, they've heard about the ICE facility, they've seen it on the news, so they like to keep updated. And my dad in particular has some very strong feelings about it. For some context, my dad is a retired officer from the NYPD. So he served for a very long time in that police department. He is now retired, but so needless to say, he has a strong respect for law enforcement and has a deep understanding and an interesting perspective on this whole situation. So this is what he wrote out for me. It was initially apparently a little bit spicier, but they toned it down. So this is Thoughts of an Old Cop. Across the country, 24/7, police officers and other law enforcement agencies go out to do their work, oftentimes having to encounter dangerous and violent individuals. They go out and unless they are undercover or in plain clothes for an assignment, are readily identifiable by their uniforms, badges, and name tags. Some also have body cameras. They don't hide behind a mask as ICE agents do. They are accountable to their commanders and other supervisors, but most importantly to the citizens they protect and serve. However, DHS seems to consider accountability to the community as a quaint oddity. No badges shown, no identification other than a patch, perhaps sewn on a vest and the mask, making them even more anonymous and threatening. And the masks? Supposedly to keep them from being identified and doxxed or threatened with violence. However, as currently deployed at airports, they can roam around without masks. They can be photographed and identified. This inconsistency demonstrates a classic case of gaslighting on the part of DHS. Inadequately vetted, hastily trained, and poorly supervised with anonymity on the streets, they have shown their capacity to turn into a violent, undisciplined ragtag mob. ICE should not be allowed to roam the streets with impunity, terrorizing citizens and immigrants alike, sweeping them up and detaining them without due process. ICE and their tactics are an embarrassment to our country. It is easy to lob tear gas, smoke grenades, and kill innocent civilians. Renee Good and Alex Preddy, anyone? It is much harder to act with restraint, professionalism, and respect. They would do well to emulate our police officers who do that every day. just, to add, my dad's been a Republican for my entire life, so, maybe give his words some thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sonali Sinha. I'm from Parsippany, New Jersey. I wanted to give you 5 reasons why it's in your best interest to prioritize using all your resources to shut down this camp, not just some. I did see that you filed a lawsuit against the DHS detention center. Thank you for that. Reason number 1, the current administration is unpredictable no matter what part of the political spectrum you're on. Since the beginning of 2025, they've demonstrated a complete disregard for the legal system. They bended to their own will. I'm not an expert, but I know bending to the whims of people who create rules for themselves and only for themselves will only beget more chaos. Just look at gas prices. Taking even more legal action that's aggressive will allow you to set the tone of the behavior you're willing to allow from the federal government. Reason number 2, there are lawmakers in other states that have successfully stopped camps from being built. I've seen examples of people buying the warehouse before it could be purchased from DHS or shutting down water supply. Their bravery is setting a precedent that they will not tolerate being pushed around by a corrupt government, and that they will protect their people. If you cave because you didn't fight hard enough, you will be the permission slip for things in this country to get much worse, especially because this warehouse is located in New Jersey. So we are watching you, but also know the country is watching you and the world is watching. Number 3, you are famous. Since this whole debacle has started, I know there's only so many of us that can come into this room every single week, but we also need to take into account our social medias. They have amassed large amounts of attention from the country and from some people around the world. The lawsuit is only step 1, but please do more, because you have power, and because you have power, you are being watched. So what you do or don't do, you will be making a name for yourself on a world stage. Number 4, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe you don't agree with all the tactics we propose, such as proposing land ordinance, maybe because it's unconventional, but right now we are living in dark, uncertain times, and no one has the luxury of leaving any stone unturned. You already know where we stand, and you see that when we are extremely angry, we decide to educate ourselves, we organize, and we fight with our words. If you leave even one door open for this center to be opened, you will be putting yourselves in a position of working with people who are unstable. I have read that ICE officers don't need to fit a criteria to join. I have read that some of them have accidentally shot themselves during their training. If you watch the videos of people they murdered, surrounding ICE officers disperse the scene as though they are not in agreement of what's going on. There's a lot of disorder going on within there. I'm pretty sure we are the better option to work with, but we have high expectations, and you need to meet our high expectations, because our expectations will ultimately benefit everyone.
Diana May, 30 Whisper Way East, Ledgewood. Thank you, Mr. Murphy, for sharing that you are keeping an eye on things, making sure that they are not going and retrofitting the warehouse. That is comforting to us. I do appreciate that. This reminded me of the fact that I recently heard that the residents on Old Traveled Way are complaining that the DHS cars that are there are at least 2 DHS vehicles up the driveway and outside the warehouse, are using the back entrance. So they're traveling up Old Traveled Way to get to the back entrance as opposed to the main entrance off Route 46. It is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, that they should be using the main entrance off Route 46 rather than passing these residential houses. I've also heard it reported that residents of Old Traveled Way have called the police complaining that they're using that road and that they're speeding through that road, which causes a safety concern, and that they were told that there's nothing that the police could do. So that could be incorrect. I don't know, I'm just sharing this with you. Something to put on your radar. We may need to be looking and monitoring how they are accessing that warehouse, if they are using Old Traveled Way continuously. If that's happening now, I can only imagine if that warehouse opens, what that will will actually turn into ideas. Perhaps we could put up signs that is for residents only. Perhaps we could put pretty large speed bumps. I know in my community we have very large speed bumps. I was here with the Roosters situation, or Roosters Coffee House. The residents came and complained that there was difficulty getting up and down the street. They were worried about emergency services being able to get up the street because of parking. This seems like a much more serious information if we have small children playing in the yards and DHS vehicles zooming up the road. That is something I would like to bring it small scale and back home to really watch out for the safety of our residents. Thank you.
I believe the resident who called, police chief, reached out and let ICE team know that they're not going to be using that for resident.
I can let you know, I talked to the acting deputy director of operations.
Great.
Let them know about that, and we also went up and talked to the people there.
Great.
Like anything else in any other neighborhood, we will continue to do it because I'm assuming there are multiple different people that come up. But once the word gets out that this has been a complaint, I'm confident it will.
Wonderful.
It will cease that.
Thank you for looking out for the safety of our residents. Appreciate it, Chief. Thank you. Thank you.
Please come up, stand online now, I'm gonna close it down in a minute.
Good evening, Sierra Winters, Landing, New Jersey. I want to talk tonight about transparency. I think that's something that is very important to me as a Roxbury resident right now. I already asked tonight, I'll ask again. It would be great if there could be a standing agenda item on the agendas moving forward for updates on this issue. I think it would give a lot of us reassurance to know that it won't be skated over, and we'll know that it's on the agenda and that we will hear about it every time. I ask that you continue to collaborate with the New Jersey Attorney General's office on the lawsuit and the injunction, and that you keep us informed on that partnership. I appreciate the postings on the website. It would be great if there could be maybe a weekly update in plain language, because many folks are not necessarily lawyers or policy people. And so, you know, the press release was great, but sometimes reading things that are like the official documents might not be accessible for everybody. And so I think it would be great if you could summarize those in plain language to help the community to better understand and stay informed. I also want to ask again that you remove the conflict of interest of Anthony Bucco's representation. I think other people have better stated what that conflict of interest is already tonight, and obtain independent legal counsel. Tying back to transparency, if that's what's already going on here with Mr. Bryce stepping in, tell us that, right? Like, we would love to know if Bucco has been replaced on this issue. I mean, maybe someone within his own firm wouldn't be a good fit anyway. But tell us what's going on, right? And then two other things that are on my mind are delay, delay, delay. I've said this in almost every message that I have sent to you all. Anything that we can do to make it so inconvenient. Don't roll over. Don't let Roxbury be the easiest place to place this facility. Be a thorn in their side, right? Anything we can do to make this harder, like speed bumps on their roads and signs that make them take the long way around, all of those things help. So do everything, get creative. And lastly, I've been searching for a new home in Roxbury. I have 2 kids and I need a bigger house. That's been a crazy headache and very difficult, as I'm sure many of you could imagine in this market. And I was really interested to see a house for sale on Old Traveled Way that I will not be buying. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Sierra Wilson, Bud Lake. A few weeks ago, the last session we were here, I asked about a temporary restraining order. Seeing that the court case is now in place, has a temporary restraining order request been made to the judge?
Yes, we filed for a preliminary injunction.
A temporary restraining order?
Well, it is a preliminary injunction. It is a type of temporary.
Fabulous, thank you. I'd like to end my time here with a quote, because we don't want this in Roxbury. This is a quote from an ICE facility. This is a man with a valid work permit that was illegally detained by ICE, so he was here legally. Just try to get me out of here and do all that you can, please. It's an absolute torture, psychological and physical torture. It's just a horrible, horrible, horrible place. I'm not in fear of the other inmates. I'm afraid of the staff. They're capable of anything. Again, that's a man that came here legally, has a valid work permit, and was illegally detained by ICE. We don't want this in Roxbury. You need to be aggressive, you need to be proactive, you need to be doing more. We've brought up temporary restraining orders. Thank you for filing the injunction. We've brought up moratoriums. I haven't seen that come to the docket yet, nor have I seen ordinances. So please be more aggressive because we don't want that in Roxbury. Thank you.
It's gonna be regarding tax appeals.
Resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Roxbury and the County of Morris, New Jersey, authorizing the Township of Public Expenditure. Where it is deemed appropriate, the Township to discuss the matters hereinafter mentioned without sudden public in accordance with RS 4-12B being Section 3 of the Open Public Meetings Act. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Roxbury, matters relating to tax matters shall be discussed by the Township Council without the presence of the public.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna step out and go into executive session. No action will be taken. I don't have a time how long it will be, but when we come back, we do not anticipate any further action.
Yeah, we live streaming on Facebook, and let me turn off the live stream.